that odious stench. Smells like...
Hey there, you're watching Hymns of the Wake. I'm Jacob. Let's talk about some music. Today we're going to be talking about Folkvangr Records again. This third episode, talking about this label. You know, fantastic label. We got a bit of a theme going on this this video. As you might tell by the title of the video, it's got a very kind of almost all these albums we're going to talk about today have a very kind of medieval or Dark Ages period feel to them. You know, Dark Ages, Viking, that kind of feeling. So I felt it was fitting to listen to Vehemence. I think this is their debut album. It might be their second album, I'm not sure. This is the only one I have. This is Parley Song Verse, put out on Antique Records out of, I believe, France last year. Yeah, Vehemence is a French medieval black metal band, as I'm sure you can tell listening to it. Killer artwork on this. Of course, the discs and CD players, you can't see that, but yeah. They are a two-piece with, and there's quite a few session musicians on this album. Yeah, it's one of my favorite albums from last year. There's some pretty cool artwork throughout the booklet. But yeah, let's talk about what we came here to talk about. That's Folkvangr Records. So first, this is gonna be new. This is something a little different. We haven't talked about CDs from Folkvangr Records yet. This is actually their first. This is the first, you know, like this is the first release Folkvangr put out, you know, just on their own, not co-releasing or reissuing from another label. So yeah, this one was only released on CD. It's the only time that Folkvangr released an album like that. This is Hate Moon, the Imprisoning War. Yeah, this is a two-piece band out of Pennsylvania, I believe Philly. Put out in 2017. It is kind of a... They describe themselves as Norse Gale symphonic black metal. They have you know, their families originate from that region, from that heritage. Yeah, this is real good symphonic on the more lo-fi end of, you know, symphonic black metal. Kind of see what they're about with those, you know, tracks back there. You know, seeing about the good old days of their, you know, the lands of their heritage. This was their debut album. I think this is the only thing they've put out so far. This is, I think I mentioned it. This was put out in 2017. So yeah, I think this CD is actually pretty hard to come by now. Well, I don't know necessarily like hard. If you found it, I don't know how expensive it would be, but it can be tricky to find. I know Folkvangr is sold out of it. I don't think there are any copies on Discogs, so if you want to check it out, digital's probably the way to go. Yeah, That's Hate Moon, The Imprisoning War. Next up, you know, I forgot to mention this in the start. You know, one of the really cool things about doing this series has been getting to go back and really dig in and appreciate some of these albums that I didn't really give the proper listening time to originally. Didn't give them really a chance to, I don't know, I guess they just didn't, some of these didn't catch on to me the way that they should have originally. You know, I kind of had my original favorites, you know, everything else got, you know, a play or two and then just got shelved. But it was kind of a, you know, going back listening to these albums, it was a bit of a shame that I didn't give a lot of these the proper attention, you know. And quite a few of the albums I'm talking about today are that way, you know. That made me think about that. Remember that I forgot to mention it was, you know, this next album. This is a Gravespawn, Inexorable, Grimness. I believe this is just an EP. You know, it's 5 tracks. Each track is in the like 4 to 7 minute range, I believe. Yeah. Black shell on the cassette. Again, Folkvangr always, especially on these cassettes, just top-notch work. Sorry. There's your J card. And yeah, so again, the title of this video, heavily influenced by the feelings I got from this specific album. This really has that Satyricon, dark medieval times feeling to it. You know, I don't want to, you know, put words in the band's mouth, but I think that they were heavily influenced by Satyricon, and specifically that album. You know, it doesn't quite have the piercing tones of the guitars quite like dark medieval times, but there's definitely that just overall feel to the album. They've got a little bit, you know, thicker guitar tone. I don't know how else to describe it. It's definitely worth checking out. This was put out in the cassette was released in 2017, but I believe this EP or album, I think EP, was released in 2016. You wouldn't believe it, but these guys are, or I believe it is one guy, and they uses session musicians for whatever else he needs. But he's based out of Los Angeles, which you never would guess from the sound of this project. Yeah, it's got very medieval, got a very medieval sound to it. It's the best way to put it. Again, that's kind of going to be a bit of a theme in this video on these albums. So, moving on, another one of the albums that I really wish I would have given some proper listening back when I originally picked it up. This is Lostregos, Lindas Baixo o Luar. Yeah. These guys are from the Galician region of Spain, and actually, surprisingly, the second project that I've talked about from that region. If you watched my video on 10-inch records, I talked about a folk band from that region. I believe their name was like Sangre de Muerto, something like that. Yeah, that was really good. You know, just kind of regional neo-folk music. I don't know if it's neo-folk, but regional folk music. This, on the other hand, it does have a little bit of there's a little bit of folk on here. Not a lot. Don't let that scare you away. Kind of clear cassette with the black through the middle there. That artwork is pretty killer for the focus, more on the artwork, but yeah, in person there's a lot of little fine detail on there. Really cool. This was released in 2017 again. You're wondering what it sounds like. You know, it's got a little bit of folk, but it has a very heavy kind of pagan metal, pagan black metal influence. Bathory, you can definitely tell these guys were influenced by Bathory, and there's a lot of old school heavy metal influence on this that really shows through in a lot of the kind of the riffs and stuff. This is definitely worth checking out. This was their Lostregos' debut album. They put out an EP before this that I still need to go and check out. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. This one I did, you know, catch on, did latch on to me originally. This is Forefather, Tales from a Cloudborne Land. And Forefather is a band that I'm surprised not many people talk about. I don't know that I've ever heard them talk about, but they have a pretty impressive catalog of releases, and they are definitely a unique project, to say the least. But when I say unique, I don't think that shouldn't be a turnoff. You know, like there's some kind of like weird, unique, you know, proggy bullshit band. These guys are a really hard band to describe musically. Well, I don't know that they're hard. They have a very interesting sound. They describe themselves as Anglo-Saxon metal. So if you're wondering what that sounds like, it's kind of a blend of, you know, your pagan. A lot of people call them, you know, just pagan black metal, but I don't think that's a fair genre to throw on them. There's definitely, especially in their harsh vocals, that they definitely have that feel, but in the music, there's also some clean vocals, but not like, you know, they're not overdone, and they're not, you know, out there. They fit the music well. So I guess what I'm trying to say. These guys are riff machines. That was my first impression listening to this was, holy shit, the riffs on this. There's a lot of thrash and, you know, traditional heavy metal influence in the music of this, and then, you know, it's got those more black metal vocals mixed with, you know, a little bit of clean, you know, kind of like the cleans in the background right now, with kind of just that they kind of have like a dating, like that dates the music to like that time period that they want to place you in. Now this is, you know, I don't know if I mentioned. I think I mentioned they're Anglo-Saxon, but they're based out of England. So this places you back in, you know, the medieval times in England. You know, all that. Yeah, really, really. I can't think of anybody that I think would not enjoy this if you're a fan of, you know, any genre of metal. This has something for you, unless you're, you know, like into, you know, super clean, proggy, more modern metal, that kind of stuff. You might not like this, but you know, if you're into any kind of black, thrash, you know, traditional heavy metal, this is definitely worth checking out. You know, here's the shell. It's kind of got a bit of a brown clear look to it. These guys are, it's two brothers, Athelstan and Wulstan, right there in that picture. This release was originally a split with, what's the name? The Meads of Asphodel. The split was called English Steel, but this was released by Folkvangr as an individual, you know, piece called Tales from a Cloudborne Land. Definitely worth your time to check this one out. I'll probably, even if I can find something on YouTube, leave a link to probably One Blood and One Bone. That was, or Out of Time. Those two I think were my favorite tracks off of this. Yeah, definitely check this one out. And definitely follow this shit out, to be honest. It's all worth your time. Or I wouldn't be making a video about it. Okay, got two more for you. Shit. I actually forgot to mention something. Between Gravespawn and Lostregos, Folkvangr actually had another release. It is the only Folkvangr release that I don't own. So if somehow somebody owning this watches this video that no longer wants this, get in touch with me. And that release is Chaos Moon. It's I think it was a double cassette of reissues of two of their early albums. You know, if you know Chaos Moon, they are kind of a heavyweight in the U.S. black metal scene. Put out a lot of great stuff. Yeah, so if you have that, want to get rid of it, get in touch with me. It's the only thing I'm missing from Folkvangr. But yeah, moving on, we got two left. This next one was the main reason why I chose to put on Vehemence in the black background. This one is Darkenhold. What's the name of it? Memoria Silvarum. Again, this is another French medieval black metal band. Very similar to what we've got playing. It's not quite as, it doesn't quite have the it's not quite as, what's the word? It doesn't quite have the same maybe pageantry as this one does. This one's a lot more just kind of raw, to the point. Not quite as epic as, not that this that we've got playing is super epic, but it's got a little more kind of that epic metal feel to it than this one. Yeah, this one was released in 2017. Nice gold cassette. Really been meaning to. These guys have a pretty. Seems like they had a pretty large catalog of work. You know, 4 or 5 albums at least that they had out, or 4 or 5 EPs, album splits, whatever they've done. Just looking at their bandcamp. Yeah, here's the J card. A little closer look at it. for you. Yeah, just pretty straightforward and French medieval black metal. So if that's your cup of tea, track this one down, check it out. As always, I'll leave the links to each of these projects, Bandcamp, in the comments, or not in the comments, in the description. Okay. I believe, well, this is our last one to talk about today, and I believe this is the first one that we've talked about that is not a metal album. This is Runahild with Sigurnar. This is just kind of a traditional Nordic folk album. You know, it's got a nice clear cassette there. I believe this was released in 2017, and I believe that it was released on the day of what's it called? It just happened. It was released on or around, you know, the pagan or Wiccan New Year. So that was pretty cool. Kind of, yeah, the feeling on the music. To me, it's very, you know, ritualistic. You know, you're at night deep in the woods around a campfire, performing, you know, some kind of, you know, ritual or something. It has that feel to me. It's very, very, you know, shamanistic, ritualistic, especially the first couple tracks. Out of everything I've shown, honestly, this is probably my most listened to album. I wouldn't necessarily now say that it's my favorite. You know, I think I attribute that to, you know, I'm not an avid collector of, you know, folk music. I definitely have a few, more than a few in the collection. I've got a good handful in the collection, but this is definitely one of, if not my favorite, of that style of music that I have in the collection. Definitely, when I'm in the mood for this, it's definitely one of the things I reach for, and the first ones I reach for. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about any of these. I think I've pretty much covered it. Yeah, I think that's going to be the video tonight. You know, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Hopefully this video finds you with the United States having a lame duck president sitting in office. Because fuck Donald Trump.